So in the next British naval phase, we're going to do a couple of things. One is we will select one of these fleets. I think we might send Nelson. And we're going to have them come out here to provide some sea supply into Finland. In this case, all the possible places he could go to were surrounded by white, and I was able to click in one square and it just moved the fleet all the way there. In other cases, you can choose to move the unit one square at a time. And then I'll select another fleet from this stack, and I'm going to I might use the transports. And we'll put a corps on board. So we'll put the cavalry on board the transports. Is there room for another corps? No, there isn't. And the transports will just step out here to the sea area off Holland. We'll click on the transports and then out into the sea area. And then the third fleet can take the infantry corps and do the same thing. And just to make sure the Spanish, that's the Spanish controlling Holland, don't get up to anything, we might put a light fleet to actually blockade the port of Amsterdam. The reason I didn't put the invasion fleets into the blockade box for the port is that if I do so, they can't provide supply to the land area. So I want to keep them at sea so that I can build the depot on top and it will supply the invading units. So that's the end of the naval phase. Let's move on to the land phase. And I'm actually letting it run this time so you can see how long it takes for the AI to play the other countries. And here we are in the British land phase. Now I actually have, well, here we go. So we'll do a naval invasion from out here and land. Actually, should we go into the city or should we go into the neighbouring area? If we try to go into the city and we fail in the battle, then we'll be retreated, but that's not such a big deal. So we'll just go in there. And now we'll have to select the other fleet and tell it to invade its forces. Notice that if I had put multiple corps on one fleet, all of those corps would have to disembark in the same place. Each fleet disembarks once. Let's put a depot on top of that transport. Okay, so they're going to supply this force here. That's good. Might bring these guards. By the way, the reason there's a Prussian here is that I've given them access to British territory. They're my ally. Similarly, they've given me access through theirs, so I could march through Flanders if I wanted to. In fact, that's not a bad idea. Why don't we march up here, and we can create a depot and establish a land supply route. We'll feed this guy from the invasion supply depot for this turn. If I come up here to Nelson, I have to select the fleet, not Nelson, and I can put a depot on top of him, and that will now supply the Swedish unit. Notice that the Russian garrison has starved to death during their turn, so we might just drop a factor down into the city. Whoops, dropping a factor into the city. There we go. And let's have a look down in Egypt, where the Egyptian corps, oh, Kushans Ali has fled. Well, let's hope that stays the case. Maybe this war will lapse. We might move them up here. We'll hit auto forage. Total supply cost is 4, that sounds about right. Next turn. Here we are in the land combat. Let's see how our two corps go against the Hollanders. I think we will take Echelon yet again. And the Spanish are trying to withdraw and have done so successfully. Okay. Seems a bit odd to me, but there you go. And we will try to assault the city. We got over the walls, excellent. And we've destroyed the defender. So now we can drop a British factor into the city. Select the corps that we want to drop the factor from, then click on Detach Factors, one factor, OK. And that's the end of the land phase.